Hey, what's up guys? Chris here. Welcome to the 90 days no alcohol challenge. If you don't know who I am, I'm Chris Alterman. I'm doing a 90 days no alcohol challenge. If you want to know exactly why I've been doing it, go ahead and check out the previous videos. Otherwise, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. But I've been reading this book right here. It's by Ray Dalio. It's called Principles. Ray started this hedge fund called, I think it's called Bridgewater and Associates, and it's like the #1 highest grossing hedge fund of all time. Most people think that Warren Buffett is the richest guy and has the biggest hedge fund. It's actually this guy, Ray Dalio. So a lot of people don't know that because he's always been very, very discreet. So he recently came forward within the last year or so and made this book. And one thing I wanted to read, it's this little excerpt, however you say it, right here. I feel like it's very, very congruent with this video. And I'm just going to read it to you guys. It says, time is like a river that carries us forward into encounters with reality that require us to make decisions. We can't stop our movement down this river, and we can't avoid those encounters. We can only approach them in the best way possible. So I absolutely love that. And the reason that I felt like it was very congruent to this video is simply for the fact that I've been going down this river, kind of like living my life on autopilot in a sense. And, going out on weekends, the week's end, looking forward to drinking, looking forward to, the girl I want to talk to, taking her back to her place, my place, whatever it was. And I was always looking forward to that. And as I've, started this process, this is my week 5 of sobriety, which feels freaking amazing. I'm actually going to go to the gym right now. I also had some coffee. And I realized that I wasn't actually making the decisions myself. It was almost like the rituals and the patterns that I started creating started to just kind of make themselves for me. I mean, it was weird. I'm thinking back at it now, and I can just remember, like, my phone. This is my phone because I'm recording it on my phone. But I can remember even getting texts like on Thursdays or on Fridays, and it was always the same people. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Hey, what's going on? Or hey, we're gonna go to so and so's place. Or hey, we're gonna go grab a drink over here. You should come. And then very quickly, like once you stop drinking, and this is back when I was like 19, I decided I wanted to go play professional soccer. So I never made it, but I started taking it very seriously. And I noticed that when I did that, like those calls stopped coming. People stopped reaching out to me. And it was kind of crazy because everybody was just going down this river, right? And then I all of a sudden like was also going down the river, and then I turned around and looked at everybody going down, and then I stopped. And everybody kind of like tried to hold on and like pull me down with them, and then I just decided to keep going the other direction. But what I realized is like as you go up the river, you just run into other people who are going down the river. And those are new friends, those are new associates, those are new people that you tend to latch onto. And or that latch onto you and start to drag you back down again. And then sometimes they even turn your head and you totally lose focus of what you were doing and what goals you wanted to achieve, what you wanted to accomplish. You didn't want to face your own reality. And so I think that's the huge statement in that book is we're all just approaching life, and we're trying to figure out what the best decision is. And for me, I felt like the best decision, as I stated in the first video, once I realized like, oh crap, like I saw my best friend drive home and he doesn't even remember how he got home, that was huge for me. And it's crazy because sometimes it takes that occurrence happening more than once. I've been with other boys and that stuff's happened way many times, like a bunch of times. And I never really thought about it any differently until, up until now. And so I don't know, maybe it takes, an event showing up over and over again for you to finally realize like, oh shit, like what am I doing? So I think that's where I'm at this point right now. Obviously time, again, is like a river and I'm still going through it. I feel great. I can keep saying the same things in the videos, but I want to make these videos more in depth for you. And I want to come from a place of truth. Rather than like, oh, my skin's clear, or, I feel great, my energy levels are up, I lost a pound, like those are byproducts, like those are going to happen anyway. But in terms of like the depth of thought, the clarity that you get when you stop drinking, it's absolutely unreal. It's insane. I actually just had a buddy that I met when I went on this cruise. One of the last times I actually drank in January. He just reached out to me and he's like, hey man, I'm thinking, his name's Dale. Dale, if you're watching this, what's up, brother? He's like, hey man, I'm thinking about, quitting drinking, but it's kind of hard because like all my friends drink. And honestly, it's one of those things, dude, and for anybody that's going through the same situation, it's one of those moments where you have to realize like, look, it's either me or them. And if this bottle is going to dictate our friendship, then maybe we shouldn't be friends. You're not in the best interest of Chris. You're not in the best interest of me. So why should I keep hanging out with you? And I promise you, dude, or like I said, like whoever's watching this in the similar situation as my boy Dale, like, you're gonna realize very quickly that those people were only there for the good time and they weren't really there for you. I mean, I would ask yourself, how many times outside of those drinking moments that you have are you actually hanging out or just getting lunch? Or if you are getting lunch, where a beer or a shot or some sort of cocktail isn't involved. It's probably very, very slim. At least I can only speak for myself, and that's been my experience. But for anybody that's going through that, I mean, I would encourage you to really just like step back and assess your options. And this is an entirely different topic of discussion and about who you surround yourself with. But honestly, I started reading in this book as well, is everything is cause and effect. So you have to ask yourself, like, if you continue to drink, what are the effects? Okay, cool, I'm gonna have good times, or maybe your life's not so bad. Maybe it's not so bad. I would never identify as somebody who was an alcoholic. I just drank a lot socially. But I knew that the cause and effects of going out and drinking socially was, one, I was gonna spend a bunch of money on booze. Two, I wasn't gonna be sharp between the ears. So if I was out and I did make a business contact, it wasn't going to be a pleasant experience, or at least I wasn't going to bring my best self to the table. So maybe it wouldn't work out so well. And then three, I knew that anytime I smoked or anytime I smoked, I was always drinking right before. I absolutely hate cigarettes. I hate cigarillos. I can't even stand cigars. Like, I'll never understand how guys are like, yeah, we're going to go over to the shop and we're going to go and get some, Cubans and we're going to smoke, Yeah, we're going to, get some Cubans. All right. And let me, hold on, I gotta fix this. Yeah, it's exactly how it is. So let me go get some Cubans. I've never understood how guys could just go and smoke like that. I've never been like that. But I already knew that was the cause and effect. If I was drinking and I was in a setting and there was cigarettes, I would always want to get a cigarette to change my buzz, to get that head change. And then I would wake up and I'd be like, oh man, I smoke cigarettes, I feel disgusting, and then you wake up with what everybody always does, I'm never drinking again, or man, I'm never gonna, I can't believe I did that, or oh, I'm so disgusted in myself. And you go down this like self-perpetuating cycle of like beating yourself up mentally, and then your self-worth kicks in. It's not a good place to be. And so I think, this 5-week check-in, I don't want to drag this out too long because I know you guys have things to do, and I appreciate your time, investing and watching this video as it is. So again, thank you again for tuning in. But I guess in summary, these 5 weeks have been, at first it's very, very challenging because you have to shift your identity. You don't know who you are without it. You've always just been masking yourself. Like the booze was just a mask. Like you put that over and then it allows you to act a certain way, or as other people would say, like be your real self. But really, like, how would you know who you are if you're not even conscious of who you're being? And it's been a very, very strenuous process at first, and then a little later it just became easier. But now I'm becoming more reflective of the external environments. If I see people around me that are drunk, I'm just like, oh man. I sit back. I'm like that dude on whatever that gif. He's like, it's like you finally wake up and you realize like, oh shit, like that's exactly how I was acting. And then you're like, man, like I don't want to be around these people. But then you realize, oh shit, like I was being that person. I was the one acting like that. Like nobody probably wanted to be around me either. So if you're going through some sort of sobriety challenge, or you're doing something, know you're not alone. There's tons of people out there who are wanting to shift their identity and to shift their lives and really get to know who they are on a deeper level. And again, like if you keep sedating yourself and masking yourself with like the drugs, the alcohol, and the cigarettes, or whatever your vices, or maybe it's like Adderall's a drug, synthetic shit. But whatever you're masking yourself with, like it's not gonna get you closer to your truer self. Psychedelics and stuff like that, I would say that's a totally different topic. I'm not gonna totally dive into that. But yeah, I would say these 5 weeks have been nothing but clarity, and I'm super glad that I've gotten this far. And honestly, I'm starting to think like, man, maybe I can do a year. But I'll check in with you next week. I'll let you know how I'm feeling then. All right, have a good day. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, so when I post a new video in the next week, for week 6 update, you can get that notification and you can come back and tune in. So as always, I appreciate your time. Leave a comment, thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Later.